Afternoon, everyone. My name is Charlene, and I'll be chairing session 23. So I'll just share my slides for the session. A huge thanks to the conference organizers for creating such a wonderful platform for female data scientists and statisticians. So this panel session is going to be titled Women in Statistics and Data Science, Overcoming Career Hurdles in Leveraging Opportunities in the African Context. That is a highlight of our panelists. We'll get a session to get introduced to them. So the outline of the panel discussion, I'll just introduce the panel that will be taking us through their experiences today, and then they'll give us a slight glimpse into their career paths to date, and then we're going to discuss some of the barriers that women faced as statisticians and data scientists, and we'll be giving you what we feel is the African context, but it might be universal to women in different localities. So we'll take you through the economic barriers, the cultural barriers, how maternity breaks sometimes can be a hurdle in terms of your career progression. And we'll also share a few pointers on how you can leverage these. So I'll start by introducing our panel. We have Betty Mawiri, who is the team leader at statistical services at the Tobacco Research Board, and she's based here in Zimbabwe. Shuvai Mashimbo, who's an educator and as well as a qualified data scientist. She's a lecturer at Tel1 College, as well as Ocean Crest Institute, and she's also from Zimbabwe. Caroline Mugo was a lecturer in the Department of Stats at the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology in Kenya. And with us on our panel is someone from the upcoming generation, Makomborero Nyoni, who's a student currently doing operations research and statistics at the National University of Science and Technology in Zimbabwe. And I am Charlene Dumbura. I'm the panel session chair. I'm a climate and health associate researcher at SESHA Zimbabwe, and I'm a qualified data scientist as well as a biostatistician by profession. So I'll just invite our panel to give us a glimpse into their careers. Maybe we can start with you, Betty. Maybe the pointers could be, give us a highlight of why you chose data science or statistics as your career choice, and then maybe a glimpse of your career trajectory to date, a highlight of your journey, as well as maybe a low point. Over to you, Betty.
Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, thanks.
Okay. Thank you very much, Charlene, and thank you for the organizers for giving me this opportunity to participate at such a forum. I am Betty Mawiri, as introduced by Charlene Dumbura. I'm a statistician, a biometrician, with about 16 years experience. I'm a team leader at the Tobacco Research Board. I joined in 2008. I have experience in designing, led field and greenhouse experiments, analyzing the experiments, depending on the type of data and the objectives. I specialize also in principal component analysis. Those are genotype by environment interactions. I've also started working on time series models for weather data, so as to predict diseases. We correlate, we try to put a lot of variables into the models just to predict weather patterns and correlate them with pest and disease occurrence. That is what I'm currently working
on. I don't know, maybe you could share why you chose that as a career path, maybe just to motivate the next generation.
I think I'm good in maths, in statistics. I prefer summarized things. I prefer working with figures rather than writing long paragraphs with a lot of literature and notes. I prefer computing figures and summarizing, like telling my story using figures rather than like when I was in primary school. I used to struggle with languages. When you had to write composition on a certain story, I would struggle. I would struggle just to complete maybe 3 pages or the 500 words. But when it came to statistics or maths, I would just flow through. So it's a talent and a passion as well. It was inborn. I just discovered it when I was at school that I never struggled with anything to do with figures or numbers, and I prefer to tell my stories in terms of numbers. So whether it's science, it's social, it's economics, I prefer to be on the figure side, or it's monitoring and evaluation, I prefer the figure side.
Yeah, thanks so much, Betty. So the career chose you in a sense.
Yes, yes.
Yes, lovely. So over to you, Carol.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I am Caroline. Like Charlie said, I lectured Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology for many years now, almost 20 years. What is my journey like? I did Bachelor of Science in general. So I did mathematics and chemistry for my undergraduate course. Then I did a postgraduate master's in applied statistics, and then later did also another master's in biostatistics from Hasselt, Belgium. And why I did choose statistics was I think I loved numbers, and that's why I ended up doing statistics. As you can see, in my undergraduate, I did mathematics and chemistry. In fact, my internships were more of the lab. I was in the lab, most of my internships or attachments. I later ended up being in the research institution for data analysis. And later after my master's, now I went to the education sector, where I've been for the years that I've been working. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Carol, for a peek into into your career. Makumbarero, you can go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Makumboro Nyoni, a part-final student at the University of Science and at the National University of Science and Technology. Because of my love for numbers, I've always been fascinated with numbers and patterns. So now I get to make use of numbers to make sense of the world around me. So during my attachment, I had the privilege to work under Mavambo Wana activity, which was implementing Office USA project. So here we managed to form a task force group that writes abstracts. So some of the abstracts that we've written include the effectiveness of IMBC sessions on pregnant women and breastfeeding mothers, still HIV, viral load, ICASA or National AIDS Council, and if they're good, we get to present them on National AIDS Day. Thank you.
Wow, that's amazing. For someone that's undergraduate to have accomplished so much already. So thank you for taking us through a glimpse of your journeys. I don't know if the panel would just like to share a highlight each of their journeys so far. Maybe I can start with you, Betty. What has been a highlight of your career path so far in this field?
Okay. Sorry, I'm having a problem with my video. I'm trying to sort it. Can you start with somebody and then I can come back?
Oh, sure. Carol, you can go ahead.
So in my career, one of the highlights was interacting internationally with internationally. First of all, having the chance to go and study abroad from Kenya. That was really a part of my journey that really changed what I thought about statistics and mathematics. So, and then of course, being able again to be in projects that can be able to interact also with people in the international space. That has really been a very good thing for me. Also trying to mentor the younger people now in terms of joining science as part of what they can actually be able to do, that it's actually possible for a lady to do that. Yes, thank you.
Thanks so much, Betty. I can see you.
Okay. I, as a biometrician, I'm a member of the International Biometric Society. Sorry, I'd also switched on my phone. Let me just switch off the other one. I joined the International Biometric Society in Can you just give me another moment? So,
No worries. Marco, you can come in. Marco Mbarero. Okay, so I can come in. I think the highlight of my career has been, I think just being able to see the impact that you can actually make in terms of the field of research. Like Betty said, we tell stories through numbers. So I think just seeing the impact that you make as an analyst in research projects, where you're able to get the insights out of the research questions that you're looking at, whether it be something in the health field or the agricultural field, just seeing the impact that you make by sharing your results with globally or locally or regionally, and seeing how those results can actually impact maybe policies or decisions that are made. I think that has been the highlight of my career so far. I don't know, Betty, between Betty and Marco, whoever is set up to share the highlight, that would be great.
okay. I think you can hear me, but I don't know what's happening with the video. Maybe it's the network. But can you hear me?
Yes, you're very audible.
Okay. I wouldn't say I've got one highlight because my journey has been interesting. Like I said, I started as a junior biometrician and I joined the International Biometric Society. I became a regional rep. Being a regional rep representing Zimbabwe, I also submitted some abstracts and I managed to get my abstracts accepted, and I would participate at international forums where I would present my work and get input from other statisticians, senior ones. I would really get excited meeting, putting the face to the paper. You had read the paper by such and such a professor, such and such an expert, and you really admired his work, their work or her work, and then you meet them in person and then they're advising you when you're presenting. So for me, it has been a journey, traveling across the world, meeting other statisticians, but also my work as a biometrician, when they release new varieties, like last year, our institution, our breeders, they managed to release climate smart varieties. As you know, climate change is real and it's within us. But because of those, the work that I had been doing, the genotype by environment interactions, trying to calculate heritability, which ones are the most stable varieties, which ones are the varieties which are best suitable for a certain region. And then you see that work progressing for 10 years. And then the varieties are now being released. And the breeders, they even won some innovation awards from the presidential competitions. For me, it's a highlight because I know that, yes, it's the breeder, they're getting an award, but I was there from the beginning, from the design of the experiment, from the data collection, and from advising on which one is the best variety.
That's amazing. That's an amazing highlight. Shurai, would you like to come in, maybe just share a highlight of your career path so far? Shurai?
Morning. Hello. Yes, how are you, everyone? Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Shubai Mashimbo Bridget. I'm an educator, a lecturer at Tier 1 Center for Learning in the Department for Data Science. So having graduated from the National University of Science and Technology in 2014, actually it was a rough patch getting to acquire a job in the industry. So starting, I had to join the Zimbabwe Statistics Office as a numerator, which was a data collector, which was, okay, a fair introduction to the industry. I then left a bit out of the statistics world, joined the education system as a high school teacher. Then in 2021, that's when I joined the institution that I'm working for currently as a data scientist teacher, majoring big data and data mining. So generally, I'm still working on my way up as I actually look forward to start on my PhD program. But due to some challenges with the current economic situation in our country, it's so hard to get funding for those PhD programs. But that's my journey so far. It's actually interesting. But as a woman in the industry, there are some challenges that we face. But overall, we actually conquer. Why? Because the determination and the focus. I think that's all I can say for now. Over to you, Shadin.
Amazing, amazing. So you've just introduced the next section of our panel discussion. We'll start with what you've termed the economic barriers for women, especially trying to enter into the statistics and data science fields. I'd like to pose a question to the panel. How do economic disparities affect women's access to education and training in statistics and data science?
Okay, can I take that one, Charlene?
Sure, Betty, thanks.
Okay, you know, education is a driver, is amongst the strongest methods for reducing poverty anywhere in the world. It improves a community's overall physical health as well as increasing the socioeconomic stability. So we really need to be educated, especially as women now in statistics. But because of these economic barriers, I would like to think that in some low-income families, maybe resources can be allocated to boys over girls, like for education. I know in my country it used to happen when we're still young in the 80s, but things have really improved. But in general, in other countries or maybe some other parts of our country, or when families have got a very low income and resources are limited, they can be prioritized to boys in terms of the education of girls, perpetuating gender inequalities, the tuition fees, the uniforms, materials, they can be given to the boy child. And families may even prioritize immediate economic contributions, leading to girls being kept at home when there are these economic disparities. Even as primary, girls can even drop out of school as primary caregivers. I know of some situations where a family member, one of the senior family members, maybe let's say the mother, is not feeling well for a month and she needs a primary caregiver. And because of lack of funds, the girl child had to drop out or maybe be absent from school for a certain period, like maybe for the 3 weeks or the 1 month when the mother is not feeling well. So this disadvantages women in education, particularly in statistics, because of these economic disparities. Some of them, most girls, you actually come across young girls looking for work as maids, and they're aged 15. They are not yet 18 years and above, but they are looking for work. And then you say, why are you looking for work? Why are you not going to school? And they will tell you that because of the economic hardships, because of lack of funds, my father had to say you had to go and work. And the money that they make, if they do ever get the job, because it's not encouraged, it's child labor, it's not encouraged, but there are some people who might employ those people, those young girls, and the few monies that they make, they have to take that money back home just to sustain the family. So we've got a lot of economic barriers, economic disparities, which can affect women getting training in statistics. In our days, we started statistics, it was part of mathematics at A level. You wouldn't get it at Form 1, Form 2. I really tried to ask around if these learners are now learning statistics at the earlier levels of high school, but you normally get it at A level, advanced level, and then at diploma level, or even at university level. So the levels, these levels, they require funds for you to have a diploma, for you to have a degree in statistics. And because some ladies, because of lack of funds or because of these economic disparities, we might not have as many women in statistics if we were to get the numbers. Like in my department, it's a department of 8 people. We are 9, and I'm the only lady. Imagine. And the others are just gentlemen. They actually call it a boys department. Why? Because I'm the only female. And even when we're at university, the ratios, you would see that in statistics we had fewer ladies. So we have a lot of economic challenges that are affecting the females to not attain education and training in statistics. Maybe if they would start the statistics in Form 1 at the first level of high school, maybe they might be exposed. But then statistics is a bit complicated. You want to start teaching someone geometry at I don't know what others if they've got any comments on what I've been saying.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. People would prioritize bread and butter issues first before, like you've mentioned, putting resources towards education. If funds are strained, then in terms of the hierarchy of needs, people would prioritize the bread and butter issues. I don't know to the panel if you have anything else to add in terms of economic barriers, where we see fewer women going for this field. Oh, okay. So maybe just to touch on the point that you mentioned, Betty, that in terms of the ratios that we have, women to men in the fields, and you're saying you're the only female in a team of 9, maybe we could, can we attribute this maybe to cultural barriers? Maybe I can ask, like, are the cultural norms and stereotypes that hinder advances of women in statistics and data science? To the panel.
Okay, I think I can take that. Are there cultural norms and stereotypes to that hinder women in STEM, ideally not just statistics? Yes. The first one is the gender role. In most of our African society, most of our roles as ladies or female is taken to be caregiving and there's more domestic responsibilities. So if you have domestic responsibilities, implies that that's where you expect, as a girl child, that's where you expect to work. And that is not what is there in statistics. So they don't see themselves in statistics. That's one of the things that would make the take-up of statistics or sciences rare for the females. Also for the females, there is also the mentality that they are weak, they are mentally weak, and therefore they don't take up hard sciences. So the society has that disparity in terms of saying, oh, the girls will take lighter. So we find that what happens is that we end up now taking subjects that they think are maybe simpler to learn. I'm not sure they are really simpler to learn. And then they don't go for the sciences. Another thing that would actually also, which is a norm and stereotype, is what Betty has already talked about the gender bias. So there is already a bias, which is cultural. The fact that they pay for the boy child school fee and leave the girl is a cultural, it's a cultural norm that probably the boy is more the owner of the household, the girl will get married, and therefore they end up funding more of the men or the boys compared to the girls. So yes, it's actually related to the cultural norms and stereotypes that are there. Another factor or another stereotype is that girls will rely on emotions when making their decisions, or they are a bit empathetic. That's what the society expects us to be. And that again is cultural. And what happens now, even in the workplace, we miss out on leadership roles. We miss out on those positions. They will probably find that will not be placed in leadership because they think you're not going to be assertive. You're going to be empathetic to the others, and that's, I think, another thing that makes us not really appear in the science space or in statistics and data science. I think for me that is really a big barrier into girls taking statistics or data science. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. I agree with most of your points. That is true. That is the norm and the cultural expectation for ladies. Usually the boys, it's expected of them. There's this expectation that they should do the hard sciences. Even in terms of encouragement, maybe from the family members and stuff, and their support systems, they have those. But if a girl was to suggest, I would like to take up statistics or hard science, you would find yourself maybe being seated down and really asked, are you sure? Will you be able to carry it through? Don't you want to lean towards something a bit simpler? Yes, so yeah, I think we have seen that. I don't know, to the panel, what kind of solution maybe would you think, how can cultural attitudes towards women in STEM be shifted so that we have more girls in these roles? How do you think that can come about?
Okay, can I take that one?
Yeah, please go ahead.
I just want to contribute. Our organizations like the or statistical associations, the ones that we have, maybe at local, at national level or at international level, we need to raise awareness. We need to raise awareness either to the schools. We go to the schools. I know most schools, they have career days. We can actually start by writing to ministries of education that we would want to participate on career days when schools are having their career days. Some of them, they just have it at provincial level where they take up all the A-level students or O-level students, and they meet at once and they'll be gathered at once. Or most schools, like maybe you've got 20 schools in one meeting, and then you can try to raise awareness about statistics as a career for women, for ladies, so that when they do go to university, their eyes will be opened, they will have some understanding, and they'll be willing to study in statistics. I feel like this is the first point that we can start implementing.
Okay, yeah, so I hear you're saying a bit more exposure for the girls to see, especially women that are currently in these roles already, going down to the grassroots and showing them that it's possible. This lady is in this post and she has progressed her career so far. So maybe increasing the exposure for the girl child so that she can see that it's possible. Anyone else want to chime in?
Can I take this again, Cherry?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the first thing is also one of the things we need to do is acknowledge that these disparities actually exist. And I think Betty has really mentioned that we can do advocacy and raise an awareness. That is the first thing, acknowledge that there are these disparities. And one other thing that we could do is do diversity training, have diversity training programs where also the girls really appreciate science or appreciate mathematics. So currently, of course, there are STEAM education programs where now, of course, other than just talking about STEM, we have arts somewhere where we actually use pictorial or plays to actually do the hard sciences. I think that's one of the approaches we could also do that would change these attitudes. And of course, a lot of advocacy and awareness that it's actually doable. The other thing that we could be able to do is tell our stories. Probably these people have not seen anyone else who has done the same, but if they see somebody has done it, they will believe in themselves. They get more confidence and be able to take up mathematics and data science. Thank you.
Amazing, yeah. Anyone else on the panel want to chime in? Okay, maybe we can move on to the next section. So we know that as females in this career path, and along with any other career path, we also, maybe some of us take maternity breaks. And sometimes when you go for the maternity break and then when you come back, there's that disjoint between maybe the progress that you had already made in your career. So maybe I can put it to the panel to say, how can organizations create a culture that normalizes maternity leave without maybe negative attitudes towards it, maybe from you, that impacts your career path?
Okay, can I take that, Shalene?
Go ahead, Shuai.
Yeah, as we know that I'm sure most of us women definitely you actually go through that during our working years. So as we all know that there are so many challenges that we face during maternity. So physically, from the physical body, that most of us, we gain weight. We have these tempers. There are so many fears that come through with actually you maybe in the initial actually getting pregnant at workplace. The fear of being body shamed before actually people know that you are pregnant. The fear of being replaced at workplace. So all those challenges that need to be addressed is the culture of most organizations. They really don't take this area so seriously. They just believe that if they give you maybe the maternity leave, it's enough. Yet that's not enough. We actually need more support during this period of maternity. So there is, as organizations, I believe that they must extend from just giving the maternity leave, give women more hours that they could take whenever they don't feel okay during their time of pregnancy. So maybe communication being the key part that us as ladies, we need to really open the lines of communication. Whenever we're at work and we are not feeling that okay, we need to communicate way effectively. And the organization, they must be at a position that they take whatever whatever that we are putting through is maybe we can't come to work. Yes, I'm supposed to be there, but I can't because maybe I'm not feeling okay for that day. So on top of the additional, as I said, that the normal maternity leave, we must be given maybe the extra hours that we can take, which are flexible. Not target that we are going to take them maybe prior the last year, maybe a month to the delivery point. Just have the days that we take, even if it's 2 months, that may I take these 3 off days so that maybe I can recover from this, that I'm not okay. So I think that's what I can say from my side.
Okay, thanks. So what I'm hearing from that is maybe companies give more than days, maybe some mental health support to women even before it is time for you to take your maternity leave. So maybe the company or the organization being a bit more empathetic towards even the early days of pregnancy for women, to just give them extra support, especially when it comes to mental health, and flexible working hours, flexible maybe working locations, maybe agile working for those hard days, maybe during the maternity period. Thanks for that. So let's say you're coming back from your maternity leave. What resources do you think should be available for women transitioning back to work after maternity leave to make that transition a bit easier?
Okay, I think there must be some resources in place that can actually make the working place be comfortable. First of all, maybe let me just mention maybe the very flexible working arrangements, so that which can actually suit the adjusting, because actually it's not easy for us as women at work and as mothers at home. So we actually need very flexible working arrangements that actually can actually make the person feel okay and not overwhelmed by having a baby at home and having to attend the demands at work. Maybe again we need another thing that can be put in place, maybe actually a comfortable lactation space at the workplace. so that maybe we might be having an arrangement that maybe the baby might actually come through. Maybe you're working very far from where you stay. So we need the space that we can actually attend the baby, which is more private. And maybe we can have actually maybe some professionals that can actually help us in, like, as you mentioned, Shelin, about our mental health. So at work, if we can have maybe some professionals which actually do the counseling and help somebody adjust and being able to manage the working and attending the babies. So maybe that's what I can say from my side.
Thanks, Roy. So what I'm hearing from that is maybe lactation rooms, and even for those mothers who wish to pump your breast milk, maybe if we can have a space that is friendly for that. I think those are some of the resources. I'll put it to the panel if someone else wants to chime in, maybe add a few points you think in terms of resources that would make your transition from maternity leave back into the work station. Maybe the rest of the panel can chime in.
Okay, I can take that also. I think thank you, Hasbimbo, for your contribution. One of the things probably that would also work is childcare. Childcare, if organizations can actually provide childcare services, for example, have a childcare maybe room, not just a lactation room, I think it would really help, because one of the things that destabilizes women in terms of maternity is we have, for example, to get caretakers for our children, and these people are usually not people we know, and sometimes you have issues. You wake up in the morning and the child care, the person taking care of the child says they're not going to be there. So then it's going to affect your work. So if they have a provision for childcare services, for example, where I can be able to leave the child and probably also go and see the child during my working hours, then that would really help. I think in Kenya, some institutions have tried that. And I would encourage other institutions to do the same, where they have a place where somebody can easily visit. And probably that will also now lessen the mental health issues that Hasbimbo is talking about. Thank you.
Amazing. Happy to hear that some organizations in your country are actually taking that up. I'm yet to see the same setup in similar organizations this end. I know that some organizations assist with this maternity leave transition. Depending on which organization you work with, they can give you up to 6 months maternity leave, although your salary might be a bit staggered if you decide to take a longer period. So there are a few organizations I'm aware of that can give you up to 6 months, but your salary scale gets affected the longer that you decide to take your maternity leave. But I think that's a very vital point of maybe childcare rooms or child-friendly play areas for when you have those days when the childcare person is not available. We know that emergencies happen, but still your workload is waiting for you and your team members are waiting for you to deliver. So I think maybe, as you've suggested, those resources would make life for working mothers a bit easier. Thanks so much. So there's that gap that happens when you've gone for maternity leave and then you come back and, tasks have been shifted around to your colleagues and so forth. And you feel like there's a bit of a snag in terms of your professional identity. So maybe we can discuss how can women maintain their professional identity during maternity leave.
Okay, can I take that again, Shirin?
Yes, please come in.
Okay, so there is actually that really, can I call it confusion during that time. So basically, what we need, I think what's important there is for as women, we need to be organized, really organize our workload clearly, and give ourselves time so that we can actually organize our work, make sure that we can meet the demands at work. Because basically, we as ladies, you won't be at your best position to really carry the normal workload that you used to have. So during this time, it's very important that you really organize, because you don't want to be someone like now actually disturbing the normal operations just because you are pregnant at work. So it's very important. Maybe the very important key is communication, so that we keep our whoever, maybe our bosses or maybe the channels of communication being open, so that we don't delays. If there are due dates to be made, we need to meet them. Doesn't mean that if you're pregnant, the deadlines shouldn't be met. So it's very important that communication is done effectively, so that if you are not able to do what I'm supposed to do, communicate so that someone can take over, so that we don't affect the whole system. Maybe that's my point from my side.
Thanks so much, Shoai. Maybe the panel, can we discuss how as women, like how we can leverage in this career for statistics and data science, some points that you feel would make even entry level as a woman into the data science field. I think one aspect maybe we can discuss is what roles can internships play in terms of encouraging women to get into the data science field?
Can I please take that one?
Okay.
So
Go ahead, Martha.
Coming from internship myself, I can definitely say that I've seen its benefits. I was able to apply the theoretical knowledge that I had from class in solving real life problems. I also had my confidence boosted, because you're carrying out activities day by day, and at the end of the day, you get feedback. Whether it's positive feedback or negative feedback, it doesn't really matter, because if it's positive, you know you're doing something good, you're doing something right. If it's negative, you use that you correct yourself, and you're not going onwards, you are doing things right. And then there was also networking. I also got to meet mentors who are actually helping me as we speak to carry out things such as my final project, who are helping me, those who have done it before me, and also to meet professors in the field. I also got my skills developed in areas such as programming, data analysis, communication skills, and others.
Okay, so do you feel that in terms of internship programs, would you suggest that they have a quota in terms of female students that they take on? Do you think that would help in the encouraging ladies to, yeah?
Sorry, may you please come again?
So in terms of internship recruitment, do you feel there should be a quota that encourages maybe a percentage of female students that need to be taken up?
Yes, definitely, because where I was attached, we were only 2 females against 6 males. So definitely by doing that, they can encourage more females to go for programs such as these ones.
Okay, thanks. And I also feel, yeah, for that quota, in terms of women, we are underrepresented, but you still want to have a brand presence or a social presence or professional presence that shows that the work that you're doing. So how can women use social media to enhance this?
I think women, they can use social media platforms such as LinkedIn, Twitter, and ResearchGate to make an online presence, to make a professional online presence by sharing their achievements as well as their statistical tools, their statistical skills online. They can also connect with others in the same field who have done it before them, such that they can get mentorship.
Thanks, Marco. Betty, I heard you mention you are part of the International Biometric Society. Do you feel like being part of such organizations is helpful in terms of your presence in the field, and how does that help you?
Okay. The International Biometric Society, for me, it has really helped me. Like I said earlier on, interacting with other professionals, highly skilled professionals in statistics, them mentoring me. I remember at one conference where I presented in Spain, there was one professor from Germany who picked something from my presentation. He saw a gap, and then a conversation started. It continued even after the conference had finished. He would mentor me. This is how you do the analysis. I was still a very junior biometrician and very eager and passionate to participate in the international statistics world. But the level of knowledge that I had and the skills, it was a bit low. But because of this, my being a member of the International Biometric Society, I managed to interact with quite a number of professional, skilled, highly skilled statisticians from across the globe. And like you meet somebody who is into forestry. From there, I can even learn something from a biometrician who's in forestry. A certain skill, a certain statistical method, which I can even use in agriculture, which is not forestry. Ours, we are into agricultural crops, horticulture, but I would learn from other biometricians, other biostatisticians, some of this, because like there are some common things that are not specific to biometry, like handling missing data. We've got statisticians who have specialized in handling missing data. So you encounter missing data, whether you're in biostatistics, whether you're in biometry. So when you join such statistical associations, international associations, even our local ones, you meet with lecturers, you meet with other statisticians from various disciplines, and then you can impart to them, and they can also impart to you. So it has really helped me. In this knowledge that I have, I've got a lot of students that are now under me, whom I mentor. I pass on that, and they'll be like, "Oh, ma'am, you know all this, But I had other mentors because I got the opportunity to meet them through these platforms.
That's amazing. What I'm hearing from that is exposure. Joining professional bodies that will allow you to have a bit of exposure and access to people who have walked the path before you. And I hear you're now mentoring students in the same. So maybe for women to pull up those that are coming up, such as Marco and team and the next generation, to just help them come along. So thank you so much for the interesting discussion from the panel. I hope the audience has been able to pick up a few nuggets to help them along in the career path. If there are any organizational leads, I hope they have picked up a few suggestions from the discussion on how to make women, maybe to help them have equal footing in terms of the careers in statistics and data science. Thank you so much. I don't know if there are any questions or input from the audience, maybe in these last minutes that we are wrapping up our panel session. I don't see any, maybe something the audience would like to just add as we wrap up. Yeah, thank you so much. So I think this is where our panel session is ending. Maybe just a final word from the panel, just to encourage people to get into this field. There are a lot of opportunities. So we encourage the younger generation to please consider getting into the field. Betty, last words, Marco, Carol, and Shuvai. Just 30 seconds.
Okay, let's go and raise awareness to the young ones that statistics is the way to go.
Carol here, I think, yes, we raise awareness and also build the confidence in the girls that it is doable, that it's not just for the males, but also the females can actually make it in this field. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe just to add, yes, let's actually implement this. Let's actually implement what we actually were discussing, especially on awareness, as Betty said. Let's implement the awareness. They need it. If they are guided at a younger age, they actually can take it on and have confidence that they can actually do it. It's actually a very, very interesting field that you should join as well.
Thanks. Over to you,
Just
Marco.
to add, okay.
I think my colleagues have said it all. Yes, we should definitely raise awareness. This is a very interesting field. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Just to add, I will start by implementing. I think I would speak with our CEO that we need to recruit more ladies. When we're doing our interviews, we'll have that percentage, that quota just for ladies. Statistics. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll hand over to the session host. Thank you so much.